The first hint of trouble flickered across my phone screen, buried in the endless scroll of Instagram. I was sprawled on my Brooklyn apartment couch, double-tapping photos of glossy avocado toasts and vibrant poke bowls. My name's Emma, a food photographer and chef in New York City, where every plate tells a story. That night, my story took a sharp turn. Lily, my best friend of 15 years, had posted a dessert from La Mer, a chic Manhattan restaurant. The chocolate tart, drizzled with gold leaf, was unmistakable. It was the same dessert my husband, Nathan, swore he'd savored alone at his work dinner 3 nights ago. I froze, my thumb hovering over the screen. My trained eye caught details others might miss. The tart wasn't just plated for one. 2 delicate spoons rested on the fine china, their handles crossed like a subtle confession. My heart thudded, a slow, heavy beat. I clicked on Lily's Instagram story, hoping for clarity. Instead, I found a fleeting glimpse of a man's wrist in the frame, the glint of a watch I'd know anywhere. It was the silver chronograph I'd given Nathan for our 5th anniversary, engraved with our initials. The air in the room felt thinner, sharper. I set my phone down, staring at the ceiling. Nathan was still at his law firm, or so he'd said, working late again. Lily, my maid of honor, the woman who'd cried with me at my father's funeral, was she part of this? My mind raced, piecing together fragments. The dessert, the spoons, the watch, they weren't just coincidences. They were clues, laid out like ingredients for a dish I didn't want to taste. I picked up my phone again, zooming in on the photo. The chocolate curls caught the light just so, a perfect composition hiding an ugly truth. Something was wrong, and I was going to find out what. The next morning, I stood in our kitchen, brewing coffee, the bitter aroma grounding me. Nathan shuffled in, loosening his tie, claiming another late night at the firm. I studied him, my photographer's eye cataloging every detail. The slight crease in his shirt, the way his gaze darted past mine. "Hey," I said, my voice steady as I poured him a cup. "Did you run into Lily at La Mer the other night?" His hand paused on the mug, just for a second. "What?" "No, why would you think that?" he replied, his tone too casual, his eyes fixed on the counter. I leaned against the island, watching the steam curl from my coffee. "Just saw her post." That dessert looked familiar. Nathan shrugged, mumbling about La Mer being a popular spot, lots of people there. His words felt rehearsed, like a dish plated too quickly to hide flaws. I nodded, letting the silence stretch, then opened the phone tracking app we'd installed years ago, back when sharing locations meant trust. My thumb scrolled through Nathan's history. La Mer, yes, but also a wine bar in Soho, a cafe in Chelsea, a rooftop lounge downtown, all matching Lily's Instagram posts over the past 3 months. My pulse quickened, but I kept my face neutral. "I'm heading to the studio," I said, grabbing my camera bag. "Gotta shoot for the bistro on Friday." Nathan barely looked up. "Have fun," he muttered, already scrolling his phone. I drove to Lily's apartment in Brooklyn, my hands steady on the wheel. Her red sedan sat in its usual spot, and right beside it, Nathan's sleek BMW gleamed under a streetlight. I parked across the street, the engine ticking as it cooled. For an hour, I waited, my camera resting in my lap. Then they emerged, Nathan's hand grazing Lily's back, their quick kiss goodbye slicing through the morning haze. Fury should have consumed me, but instead, a cold, calculated clarity settled in. Every detail, the car, the kiss, the lie clicked into place like a perfectly composed shot. Nathan and Lily thought they were clever, sneaking around my city. But I knew New York streets, its restaurants, its secrets. And I was ready to expose theirs. That night, I moved through our apartment with practiced calm, chopping garlic, simmering sauce, the rhythm of cooking steadying my hands. Nathan came home late, blaming Manhattan traffic, his tie loose, his smile too easy. "How was your shoot?" he asked, leaning against the counter. I served his favorite pasta, the one I'd perfected during our Napa Valley honeymoon, and watched him eat, oblivious. "Good," I said, twirling my fork. "I'm thinking of throwing a dinner party. It's been ages since we had friends over." His eyes flickered, but he nodded, taking a bite. "Sounds nice. Maybe invite the usual crew? Jonah, Kate, Marcus." I smiled, the plan crystallizing. Exactly. Next Saturday. I'll handle everything. After he went to bed, I called my sister, Sarah, in her quiet Connecticut home. The phone rang twice before she answered, her voice soft but sharp. Emma, what's wrong? I told her everything: the dessert, the watch, the kiss outside Lily's apartment. Stirring honey into my tea, I watched it dissolve, my voice low. They think they're so clever, sneaking around, sharing chocolate tarts. Fine. Let's play their game. Sarah sighed. Screaming won't fix this. What's your move? I chuckled, the sound colder than I meant. No poison, don't worry. Just a dinner party, planned to the last detail. They'll taste their own betrayal. I opened my recipe journal, a fresh page waiting. Each dish would tell a story, their story, from the first secret to the last lie. Oysters with pomegranate seeds, like the ones they shared at a dive bar on 8th Street. Pasta with truffle sauce from their late work nights in Little Italy. Chocolate tart, a perfect replica of La Mer's. I flipped through old photos from a Cape Cod summer 3 years ago: Nathan, Lily, and me, laughing on the beach. Their body language screamed then, too close, his hand brushing her arm. How had I missed it? I spread the photos across the counter, evidence piling up. My phone buzzed with a text from Lily, miss you. Coffee soon? I typed back, sure, babe, my fingers steady. I called Jonah, my detail-obsessed friend, and shared the plan. I need you there, seated next to Lily. Get her talking. He didn't hesitate. They'll regret crossing you. Next, I contacted the Crimson Fork, a Manhattan restaurant with a private room, perfect for what I had in mind. The menu was set, the guest list tight, every seat arranged to corner Nathan and Lily. Revenge wasn't just a dish. It was the whole damn meal, and I was the chef. 2 days before the dinner, I stood in the private dining room of the Crimson Fork, Manhattan's warm lights casting soft shadows on dark wood paneling. Michael, the manager and my old culinary school friend, adjusted a sconce that hid a modern lighting system. This'll work perfectly, I said, pointing to the wall where a screen would drop during dessert. Photos and videos looped, undeniable. Michael nodded, his brow furrowed. You sure about this, Emma? It's gonna sting. I smiled thinly. They stung first. Olivia, the head chef, swept in with a tasting plate, hawks arranged in a precise circle, pomegranate seeds scattered like accusations. I examined them, the tartness sharp on my tongue. More bite, Olivia. Make it linger. She grinned. After what you told me, I wanted to sneak in some chili oil, but this'll hit hard enough. We moved to the main course, handmade pasta in black truffle sauce, a recipe I'd pried from a Little Italy chef after finding a receipt in Nathan's coat pocket. They ate this every Wednesday, claiming late meetings, I said, twirling a strand. Olivia leaned in. They were here last week, same dish, looking guilty as hell, checking their phones like amateurs. I gripped my fork tighter, then set it down. Good. Let's make sure they recognize it. For dessert, I showed her a photo of La Mer's chocolate tart. Can you nail this? Olivia studied it, nodding. Tough, but I'll match every curl. Anything extra? I shook my head. Just make it identical. I want their jaws to drop. I pulled out my tablet, showing Michael the seating chart. Nathan and Lily would sit with a clear view of the screen, but far enough apart to squirm. No whispering, I said. My phone buzzed Lily, texting about the party. Can I bring my camera? Want to capture the night. The nerve. I showed Michael and Olivia, who shook her head. She's photographing her own funeral. I typed back, of course, love memories. Wear that blue dress from La Mer. Her reply came fast. Perfect. See you. I smirked. That'll keep her up tonight. Back at the table, I prepared place cards, writing names in elegant calligraphy. Each hid a message in invisible ink, a trick I'd learned from a wedding photographer. Under blacklight, they'd reveal truths Nathan and Lily couldn't dodge. Michael brought out canapes for cocktail hour, delicate bites topped with caviar. These are for Nathan and Lily, I said, pointing to ones with a wasabi kick, marked subtly. They'll feel it. Olivia laughed. Subtle, like a slow poison. My phone buzzed again. Nathan, confirming the reservation, asking to bring a $200 Bordeaux, Lily's favorite. I took a bite of an oyster, the salt sharp. Predictable, I said, already tasting the victory of Saturday night. The Crimson Fork's private dining room glowed under soft chandeliers as Saturday night arrived. Nathan stepped in first, fidgeting with his tie in the mirrored entry, his reflection betraying nerves. I watched him through the restaurant's security feed on my phone, my black dress hugging my frame, my expression calm. Michael leaned over, whispering, "He's here. Brought 3 bottles of that $200 Bordeaux, just like you said." I smoothed my hair, catching my own eyes in a nearby mirror. Lily's favorite. He's trying to loosen her up. The door swung open and Jonah entered, sharp in a navy suit, his nod confirming he was ready. Then Lily appeared, her blue dress the one from La Mer shimmering, her hair styled to distract. She and Nathan kept their distance, their glances brief but loaded. I stepped into the bar area, my heels clicking on polished wood. Lily rushed forward, wrapping me in a hug, her perfume the one I'd gifted her, cloying, like a trap. "Emma, this place is stunning," she said, her voice too bright. I hugged her back, feeling the tension in her shoulders. "That dress looks even better than it did at La Mer," I said, my tone sweet, pointed. She stiffened, her smile faltering. "Oh, you saw my post. Meant to tell you about that dinner. No secrets, right?" I waved over a waiter with a tray of canapés, the special ones marked for her and Nathan. "Try these. Wasabi inside, just for you two." They each took one, biting in unison. Nathan coughed, grabbing his water. Lily's eyes watered, her gasp dramatic. "Wow, spicy," she choked out. I nibbled a plain one, unbothered. "Really? Tastes fine to me." Guests filtered in, Kate and Marcus, our tight-knit circle, all unaware of the storm brewing. I guided them to the dining room, where place cards gleamed under candlelight. Nathan frowned, noting his seat far from Lily, who was wedged between Jonah and Kate. Jonah leaned close, chatting her up, his voice low. "That wine bar in Soho, you looked great in red that night." Lily's hand shook, her glass clinking against the table. The first course arrived, oysters with pomegranate seeds, their sheen accusing under the lights. "From that spot on 8th Street, I said loudly, eyes on Nathan. "You know it, right?" Lily's fork slipped, clattering. "Never been there," she mumbled. I tilted my head, pulling out my phone. "Funny, I've got a photo that says otherwise." The waiters poured Nathan's Bordeaux, starting with Lily's glass. "Your favorite, right?" I asked, all innocence. 2015, killer year. Kate glanced between them. "You told Em about it?" Nathan took a long sip, muttering, "Must've." Jonah pressed Lily, mentioning the Soho bar again. "What did you drink that night?" Her napkin fell as she bent to retrieve it, dislodging a small envelope from under her place card. She opened it, her face draining of color. The note read, "Lovely tart, perfect for 2 spoons." Her eyes darted to Nathan, panic flashing. I caught Jonah's gaze. He nodded subtly, ready for more. The room hummed with tension, the oysters untouched on their plates, their bitter seeds bleeding onto the china. The dining room at the Crimson Fork pulsed with unspoken tension as the main course arrived, silver domes gleaming under the chandeliers. Waiters lifted the covers in unison, revealing salmon, each plate a meticulous recreation of Nathan and Lily's secret 6-month anniversary dinner at a Brooklyn bistro. Envelopes fluttered onto the table, hotel bills from their business trips spilling out like confessions. I swirled my wine, the light catching the glass. "Funny thing," I said, my voice clear, "you two always ordered room service for 2. Nathan's mask cracked. "Emma, stop," he pleaded, his voice low, desperate. I tilted my head, unflinching. "Why?" "Imagine how I felt finding these in your jacket." I nodded at Michael, who held up a bill against the wall, the plaza's logo glaring, dated on my birthday. "You said you were sick, Lily. Couldn't make my party." Lily's mascara streaked down her cheeks. "Emma, please," she whispered, trembling. Jonah leaned back, arms crossed. "How long, Lily? How long have you been sleeping with her husband?" Silence stretched, thick and bitter. 18 months, I answered for them, my voice steady. Since that charity gala, Nathan. You came home with her lipstick on your collar, same shade she's wearing now. The lights dimmed, and the screen behind them flickered to life. Photos flashed Nathan and Lily leaving her apartment, sharing dessert at La Mer, kissing in a dark Soho alley. Timestamps burned into each frame, undeniable. Kate gasped, her husband shaking his head. God, you thought no one would notice? Lily's phone buzzed. Another scheduled message from me. Check it, I said, my tone sharp. Might be important, like that text you sent Nathan about missing his touch. Her head snapped up. Did you hack my phone? I smiled cold. No need. You left your email open on my laptop last month. Rookie mistake. The salmon sat untouched, guilt heavy in the air. I trusted you both, I continued, my voice even. Lily, you were my bridesmaid. Did you sleep with him while we picked out my wedding dress? She sobbed, shaking her head. No, I swear. Nathan stood, his chair scraping. Enough. Let's go. I raised a hand. Sit. We're not at the best part. The screen shifted to a video, security footage edited like a tragic film. Nathan and Lily at hotels, parking lots, stolen moments, all timestamped. The IT guy at your firm helped, I said. He's not big on cheating either. The final clip played, 3 days ago, outside Lily's apartment. Her voice echoed, you said you'd leave her. Nathan's reply cut through, I can't. It's complicated. Lily leapt up, her chair tipping. You said you loved me. I leaned forward, voice soft. He says that to everyone. Ask his old assistant. Nathan's face went white. The room fell silent, guests staring, horrified. Kate stood, tossing her napkin. I'm done. Marcus followed, muttering about their cancelled anniversary gift. Dessert arrived, La Mer's chocolate tart, its curls catching the light. Your favorite, I said to Nathan. You went back 3 times last month, Tuesdays, while I was at cooking class. Lily's phone buzzed again, her mother, livid, having seen the forwarded messages. Your boss got them too, I added, taking a bite of chocolate, smooth and bitter. Their world was crumbling, and I savored every moment. The Crimson Forks dining room emptied, the silence heavy as Nathan and Lily stumbled out, broken and exposed. I stood by the bar, my wine glass cool against my palm, watching their shadows disappear. Jonah returned, sitting beside me. They're gone, he said, his voice low. Sarah's waiting outside to drive them somewhere. I nodded, pulling out an envelope. This goes to Nathan's firm tomorrow. Board meetings at 9. Sleeping with a client's wife doesn't sit well in corporate law. I smiled, setting it down. Oh, and the divorce papers? Delivered by noon, prenup's infidelity clause highlighted. Jonah whistled. You planned every bite. The chocolate tarts sat untouched, melting into dark pools of regret. A month later, morning light flooded my Manhattan studio, my camera lens catching the glow of a new dessert shoot. My phone buzzed a news alert about Nathan's law firm, headlines screaming of scandal, careers crumbling like overbaked pastry. Sarah walked in, coffee in hand. Your dinner videos hit 2 million views, she said, grinning. Lily's job hunt? Not going well. Companies check social media now. I adjusted my light meter, unfazed. Her parents want her back in Connecticut. Nathan? Sarah shrugged. Facing lawsuits, maybe bankruptcy. The studio door opened and Jonah stepped in, holding a dessert box from La Mer. Special delivery, he said. They want you to shoot their new menu. Your party impressed the chef. I laughed, the sound light-free. Karma's got a sense of humor. My phone buzzed again, Kate, texting. Saw a moving van at your old place. Nathan's out. The prenup had worked perfectly, the house already drawing offers, scandal boosting its allure. An email popped up from a publisher, pitching a book, my journey from food photography to exposing betrayal, a recipe for revenge. I tilted my head, considering the women who'd messaged me, thanking me for showing strength without rage. Maybe, I said, adjusting a chocolate curl on the cake. But first, the shoot. Marcus and Olivia arrived, carrying pastries from the Crimson Fork. Guess who tried booking a table? Marcus grinned. Nathan, wanting to apologize. Olivia smirked. Told him we're booked for a century. Our sweet revenge specials selling out nightly. I focused my lens, the cake's details sharp, like truth. Jonah asked if I'd considered confronting them privately, I said, clicking the shutter. But they chose public betrayal every dinner, every lie. I just held up a mirror. Sarah pulled up Lily's defunct photography site, clients gone after the video. Should have used a filter, I muttered, smiling. The divorce papers were filed. Nathan's signature final. I looked through my viewfinder, the dessert perfect, nothing hidden. Now, I said, meeting my friend's eyes. I keep creating, telling stories through food, never settling for lies or bland love.